Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudiriye Nashtaprayeshu Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavate Bhagavati Uttam Shloke Bhaktir Bhagavati Nashtaki. So continuing with the discussion on Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 3, Chapter 16, the two doorkeepers of Vaikuntha, Jay and Vijay cursed by the sages. Text number 10 onwards. Ye me tanurdvij varanduhatir madhya bhutani labda sharanani chabed buddhya drakshanti agakshat drisho hi ahimanyavastana Gridha Rishamam Kushanti Atidandanetu. The Brahmins, the cows, and the defenseless creatures are my own body. Those whose faculty of judgment has been impaired by their own sin look upon these as distinct from me. They are just like furious serpents, and they are angrily torn apart by the bills of the vulture-like messengers of Yamraj, the superintendent of sinful persons. The defenseless creatures, according to Brahma Samhita, are the cows, Brahmins, women, children, and old men. Of these five, the Brahmins and cows are especially mentioned in this verse because the Lord is always anxious about the benefit of the Brahmins and the cows and is prayed to in this way. The Lord especially instructs, therefore, that no one should be envious of these five, especially the cows and the Brahmins. So those who say or feel that Vedic texts or Krishna or the sages or the acharyas are against women. See, Krishna here, Prabhupada is clearing it here, the defenseless creatures, and that is mentioned in Brahma Samhita, are the cows, Brahmins, women, children, and old men. So women are specially protected by Krishna, or they are supposed to be protected according to the scriptures. It's not like there's somebody low or somebody like that, somebody inferior. No, they're supposed to be protected. We are not following the scriptures properly. That's where we have the chaos in the society. So Prabhupada says the Lord especially instructs that no one should be envious of these five, especially the cows and the Brahman, but including the women, the old men, and the children. In some of the Bhagavatam readings, the word duhitre is used instead of duhatihi. But in either case, the meaning is the same. Duhatihi means cow, and duhitre can also be used to mean cow, because cow is supposed to be the daughter of the sun god. Just as children are taken care of by the parents, women as a class should be taken care of by the father, husband, or grown-up son. Those who are helpless must be taken care of by their respective guardians. Otherwise, the guardians will be subjected to the punishment of Yamraj, who is appointed by the Lord to supervise the activities of sinful living creatures. Those who are helpless must be taken care of by their respective guardians. Even the cows obviously they are very dear to Krishna. But look at how people are killing the cows. And just recently I read, because of this vegan movement all over world, especially in Europe and America, there are so many dairy farms they're shutting down. So many. They're filing bankruptcy and they're shutting down. Means they will not raise cattle or excessive cattle actually. Because what they used to do, they used to raise cattle and get their milk. And once the cow is not good enough to give milk, they used to send her for slaughterhouse. So the vegan movement got started saying that we don't want to have anything to do with it, so we'll not take the milk products at all. So because of that, different options or alternates were produced, like soy milk and almond milk and different kinds of milk. Of course, not milk, but it just looks like that, and that's why. But the source is plant or non animal source. So now these dairy house people, so their milk was not being sold, so they could not afford the cattle. So obviously that group of cattle must be sent to slaughterhouse. But now, earlier they used to have artificial means of raising so many cattle. So now that all will slowly go away. So it's a good movement. It's a good movement actually. And it is said somewhere I read like 1 million people per year are becoming vegan. That's a good beginning. The assistants or messengers of Yamraj are likened here to vultures and those who do not execute their respective duties in protecting their wards are compared to serpents. Vultures deal very seriously with serpents, and similarly, the messengers will deal very seriously with neglectful guardians. So, this guardians, Prabhupada is mentioning here, it's for everybody, even for women. So, if father, husband, or the grown up son, they don't take care of the women in their custody, they will be punished. So, and children also. You cannot just have children and throw them on the street. And old men, parents, when they are old, we have to take care of them. These are scriptural injunctions. And luckily now government has come up with this law that if you don't take care of your parents or your in-laws also, that's also mentioned now, you will be punished in India. So this is all based on the scriptures. There's nothing, and so this is actually it is common sense. One has to take care of people who cannot take care of themselves. This is the nature, compassionate nature one has to have if he's called a human being. But somehow that education is missing, the culture is missing, the ideals are missing, the values are missing from our lives. The life has become just eat, drink, and be merry. And again, when I was in Gurgaon, I used to go and preach at a place, and one old Mataji used to come, and I had that time read somewhere on the net that there was a person living in America, Indian body, and he was from Gurgaon. So he went to his father passed away, so he went home, and they had a big house in Gurgaon, and his mother was living alone. So he convinced his mother that let's sell this house and then move to America. What are we going to do here? You alone here, and I cannot live here. I cannot come here. So mother agreed. So he sold the house at a good price in Gurgaon. The real estate is pretty good. And then he took her mother to the airport to go to America. And he asked her to sit down at a place, and while he goes and does his checking in, and his mother sat there. After about hour or 2 hours passed, she was getting worried that where did my son go? And she tried to inquire. She went to the security people and asked, and they said the flight has already left. Your son has already gone. So this crazy boy, I don't know what he was thinking. He took his mother's money, sold the property, and just left her mother at the airport. Now, where would the mother go? At the airport, you cannot stay. So the police security people, they somehow, I don't know how she came back. She took a taxi, or maybe the cops dropped her at her old house. So the people who had bought the house from her, they understood the whole situation and they were nice. And they said, well, we have bought the house, but you can take one room and just live there. We'll take care of you. So this is happening in Kali Yuga. And it's crazy. And the thing is, we don't understand. Yamaraj and his Yamdutas are watching everything. Sometimes people say, then why doesn't Krishna punish these kind of fools and rascals right away? Isn't he watching this? The scripture says the Yamraj is watching, so why does the Yamraj punish them? Because overall, Krishna is made of mercy. Of course, we can say he's made up of Sat, Chit, and Ananda. That's technical. But his compassion, his mercy takes over. He still gives us a chance to rectify ourselves, rectify our mistakes before we die. Even while living, we'll get some reaction of that karma. But after we leave the body, if we did not rectify ourselves, did not repent for the mistakes and did not try to fix it, or Krishna says in Gita, Sarva Dharman Parityaja Mam Ekam Sharanam Vraja. Aham Tvam Sarva Papebhyo Mokshishyami Ma Shucha. Just surrender unto me. And if by the end of life we don't surrender to Krishna, then definitely so much of punishment is awaiting us. We can't even believe it. We won't even be able to tolerate it. So now becoming a devotee of Krishna doesn't mean, of course, Krishna's promise, he'll take care of all the sins. But when we become, or we try to become a Vaishnava, try to become a devotee, we will have repentance towards all the sinful activities, knowingly or unknowingly we have done. And then with a repentful heart, with a humble heart, we try to make up for whatever nonsense we have done. And everybody has done nonsense. That's why they said every sadhu has a past and every sinner has a future. So the idea is to rectify. The idea is to transform our heart. Okay, we have made some mistakes in the past. Fine. Now we transform ourselves, and then we first of all not commit the same mistake again, and we try to help others. We try to lead others also on this path, bring them on this path. And when we see somebody suffering, we try to help that person in the right consciousness. That is very important, the right consciousness part. We try to help somebody. And that way we lead a perfect life. That's a devotional life. Text number 11. Ye brahmanan mai dhiya kshipto archayantas tushyat hrida smitsdhokship padma bhaktraha vanyanura kalyatma javad grinantaha sambodhayantyam aham ivaha upahartastahe. On the other hand, they captivate my heart, who are gladdened in heart, and who, their lotus face enlightened by nectarian smiles, respect the Brahmins, even though the Brahmins utter harsh words. They look upon the Brahmins as my own self and pacify them by praising them in loving words, even as a son would appease an angry father, or as I am pacifying you. It has been observed. It has been observed in many instances in the Vedic scriptures that when the Brahmins or Vaishnavas curse somebody in an angry mood, the person who is cursed does not take it upon himself to treat the Brahmins or Vaishnavas in the same way. There are many examples of this. For instance, the sons of Kubera, when cursed by the great sage Narad, did not seek revenge in the same harsh way, but submitted. Here also, when Jay and Vijay were cursed by the four Kumaras, they did not become harsh towards them. Rather, they submitted. That should be the way of treating Brahmins and Vaishnavas. One may sometimes be faced with grievous situation created by a Brahmin, but instead of meeting him with a similar mood, one should try to pacify him with a smiling face and mild treatment. Brahmins and Vaishnavas should be accepted as earthly representatives of Narayan. Nowadays, some foolish persons have manufactured the term Daridra Narayan, indicating that the poor man should be accepted as a representative of Narayan. But in Vedic literature, we do not find that poor man should be treated as representatives of Narayan. Of course, those who are unprotected are mentioned here, but the definition of this phrase is clear from the Shastras. The poor man should not be unprotected, but the Brahmins should especially be treated as a representative of Narayan and should be worshipped like him. It is specifically said that to pacify the Brahmins, one's face should be lotus-like. A lotus-like face is exhibited when one is adorned with love and affection. In this respect, the example of the fathers being angry at the son and the sons trying to pacify the father with smiling and sweet words is very appropriate. So another instruction, and very suitable and very important instruction. Of course, every instruction in Bhagavatam is important. But how to deal with a Vaishnava or a Brahman? Now, Brahman doesn't mean caste Brahman or born in a Brahmanical family. Those who have qualities of Brahman. Or Vaishnavas, if they get angry at somebody, we should not retaliate. We should not we should not seek revenge in the same harsh way. In fact, now looking at it from another aspect, suppose somebody gets angry at me and I want to take revenge. Means I am harboring that negative feeling inside me. Because taking revenge might not happen right away. It might take some time before I would be eligible or able to take revenge. So for that long, I am harboring that negative feeling. The anger is in me. Now the million-dollar question is, who is the person that is getting hurt by that anger or that feeling of revenge or that negativity? Me. Before I even do anything to the other person, I am getting hurt. And this getting hurt, it happens on all levels, physical level, emotional level, spiritual level, mental level. It happens at all the levels. Again, somehow by Krishna's arrangement, I got to learn pranic healing. I'm not very expert in that, but the philosophy or the principles that I learned very much, it explains very nicely this anger that we keep inside, how it hurts all our chakras and subsequently all our organs. and one can scan if one is qualified to scan. One can scan and see how the chakras are getting affected by this anger. So, so forget about hurting or harming somebody else. We are hurting ourselves first. What is the point? What did we gain out of this? So that is why forgiveness always says in the scriptures, patience, humility, forgiveness, tolerance. These are the qualities one has to develop. Jay and Vijay, they got cursed by these four Kumaras. They could have said, oh, we were just doing our duty. But they did not curse them back. They didn't. They just accepted the mistake and they waited for the punishment. Two sons of Kuvera, Nalkuvar and Manigiri, we read about it during Damodar month, the story. When Narad Muni was passing by, Narad Muni cursed them to become tree, to take the birth as tree. And Nalkuvar and Manigiri just fell down at the lotus feet of Narad Muni, begged for forgiveness. Narad Muni said, I cannot take the curse back, but you will become, by your behavior, I'm happy, and you will become trees. Not in America, not in Russia or Japan or China or anywhere else, but in the courtyard of Nanda Maharaj, where you can witness all the beautiful childhood pastimes of Krishna, and he will liberate you guys. So much so that when Krishna pulled this mortar between these two trees and he yanked these trees, and Nalkuvar and Manigiri came out. Now they were beautiful, beautiful demigods. And they went back, it is said. But they went back, yes, to their heavenly abode. Afterwards, they went back to Golok Vrindavan. And they got this beautiful position. Both the brothers, they became wonderful singers in the assembly of Krishna. I'm forgetting their names. It is mentioned somewhere. There are two singers. Yes, Sugant Kanta and some other Kanta. I'll try to find out the names. Smith Kanta and Madhur Kanta, something like that. I mean, they became the beautiful, wonderful singers for Krishna. And it happened. Why? Not by their associating with those beautiful heavenly girls, by the mercy of Narad Muni. And the mercy of Narad Muni followed because of the gentle, repentive behavior of these two boys. Narad Muni cursed them to become trees. If they hadn't repented in any way, if they said, Narad Muni is an old man, who cares what he says, then they wouldn't have gotten an opportunity to become trees in the courtyard of Nanda Maharaj. They could have become trees right there on that lake where they were trying to enjoy. Then Krishna won't have come to deliver them. So always this gentle, humble, forgiving, tolerant, patient behavior, these qualities that we have to develop, they'll definitely bear wonderful fruits. Maybe we have to go through some humiliation, some kind of ill treatment in the beginning, but that will be good for us to cultivate these qualities on a higher level, and the result will be great. But Krishna, this is what is washed by Krishna. How we behave. Forget about the world. We cannot change the world. We have to change ourselves. How do we behave? And they see Prabhupada writes a wonderful line. A lotus-like face is exhibited when one is adorned with love and affection. So the thing is, if we squeeze an orange, the orange juice comes out. Why? Because it is full of orange juice. And if we squeeze a Vaishnava, a devotee of the Lord, now squeeze means if he's put in some harsh situation or hardships, gone through some hardships. So what is inside, that's only will come out. If there's love and affection and caring inside, only that will come out. There's nothing else inside. There is no anger, there is no envy, there is no hatred, there is no feeling of revenge. So that will not be there. Only love and compassion and caring and smile or mercy will come out. And this is what pleases Krishna. That is what Krishna is expecting from us, looking for from us. And like Krishna Narayan says in the verse, or as I am pacifying you. Even Lord did not get angry at four Kumaras. That unnecessarily, why you're cursing my doorkeepers? You have no business to do that. No. He was smiling and lotus face. He was trying to pacify the four Kumaras. So beautiful, beautiful instructions for all of us to follow. First, we have to take care of our dependents. And secondly, humble heart and no revenge, no anger, no envy, only positive characteristics inside us. That's what we have to develop. Sorry, we covered only 2 verses today, so we'll stop here. See anybody has any questions or comments.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you so much for the wonderful class.
Hare
But I was
Krishna.
just realizing, Prabhuji, these 2 qualities, even whatever you have mentioned, I mean, in my case, it is like so difficult, Prabhuji, to, I mean, be calm andar se. I mean, that thing doesn't, I mean, जैसे कुछ होता है ना, like वो हम पढ़ते हैं, but वो होता है, then that momentarily we are like agitated. I'm talking about myself only here. So, I mean, long way to go, Prabhuji, for us.
We all have to work on these qualities.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Thank you, Manta. Any other question or comment?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Very well.
Karim.
I think you all wanted to say something.
Yes, Manta.
No, Vinay Prabhuji, please go ahead. Hare Krishna.
Yeah, I was just one thing I've heard in today's class about Vaishnavas and Brahmanas. So both, I think, until and unless someone has become a Vaishnavas, just forget I'm talking about any casteism or anything. But then I think once you are, because Brahmins are very dear to God as per Shastras. I mean, they are mukha, they have just originated from the mukha of God. So accordingly, what I have found from today's class is that once someone become a Vaishnavas, because they are very dear again, because they are close to Vishnu and Krishna, so both are related to as same Brahmins and Vaishnavas. This is something new I come to know today.
Yeah. Both. Prabhupada used the word interchangeably, both of them, a Brahman and a Vaishnava. Ultimately, a Vaishnava is a Brahman. It cannot be Vaishnava if it's not a Brahman. But in technical terms, not just a caste Brahman we're talking. In
Yes,
terms of
Prabhuji.
quality, in terms of qualities and the karma that he does, guna and karma.
Prabhuji, one more thing to add, like I was in that rituals, the last rituals for my maternal grandmother, and I was there. The place where I was, it's completely full of Brahmins are there, right? And I was a little proud about that. Basically the Awadh Brahmins, they are out of this alcoholism and non-vegetarian food. They were not consuming that. But then this time I realized that 40% of the total population, they are into this now. So I think it's because of the effect of Kali Yuga. Slowly, it's just covering all. I mean, irrespective of religion or casteism or anything, I think slowly everybody is getting in under the, the umbrella of Kali Yuga. And the only way to come out of this is the consciousness of Krishna. Uh, submit ourselves to Krishna is the only way out.
And
So I was.
And you have to go to Ayodhya and preach.
Yes, Prabhuji, that's what I thought this time, that I have to do this.
That's the best way.
Yeah.
Thank you, Prabhu. Yes,
Vinay
Archana Mata, you were saying?
I was
Yes,
just,
Mataji.
the two things I was just, Vinay Prabhuji, what you're saying is like it's in Delhi also. It's like very much in Delhi. Like I just heard an incident. There's a Brahmin family, मतलब Brahmin in the sense Pandit लोग proper जाके घरों में ब्राह्मण वगैरह सब कराते हैं, and they are eating meats and everything. वो मेरी जो my maid comes and she said कि हमारे नीचे जो लोग रहते हैं, they are proper Pandit, and उसको उन्होंने wash करते हुए देखा है, these chicken something. Then she just called on कि तुम लोग तो पंडित हो, हवन कराते हो घरों में जाके. So then he was saying कि अरे क्या करे, बच्चे नहीं मानते हैं, पर आप किसी से बताना नहीं.
Ma'am, that's why, actually, Archana Mataji, that's why our condition, I would really honestly saying this, the condition of Brahmanas are nowhere today, in today's world, because anybody can come, if you don't know anything about Shastras, anything about, not even I talk about myself also, very little. So, I mean, my parents can do, at while talking, they can come up with 2 dohas or something they can say, which relates to that particular incident, but I can't. Probably due to modernism or something, I don't know. But because we are forgetting everything, people stopped respecting also. That is the reason.
Exactly, this is what is happening actually.
Yeah, so.
Market also, it's like same. Like, गोत्रा विशिष्ट ब्राह्मण्स है हम लोग, and हमारी अब जो next generation आ रही है, they are having everything, they are drinking, they are eating, they are some, what to do.
Ajay Prabhuji, is it because of the fact that Durvasha Rishi was so, he most of the time, everybody says that, he is one of the Rishi who immediately gets angry for something. But like in today's chapter, we have heard this, that whatever Vaishnavas or Brahmanas, even if they are angry, should not react or take any kind
See,
of.
Durvasa Muni is an expansion of Shivji. And he has a particular work to perform. We cannot compare ourselves with Durvasa Muni. So these things don't apply on Durvasa Muni or Parshuramji. No, that's different. These are for us.
They're beyond.
Not beyond, but they have a different goal to accomplish. They're there for some particular reason.
But Prabhuji, there was no revenge, there was no story about the revenge against these Brahmins when they give a curse to someone in the past. Could be because the people were knowledgeable enough to understand that they are giving for some reason. Like in this Jai Vijay Katha, this is also saying the same thing.
Yeah.
They didn't follow the principle of Vaikuntha Lok. So.
Yeah, so they just admitted their mistake and they just stood there. And that's where the Lord was very pleased with them.
Yes, Prabhuji. Prabhuji, I just find this is the only way, Krishna consciousness. Otherwise, it's all dark, every side.
Yes, Prabhupada has done an amazing job.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yes, Prabhuji.
So I guess we can stop here.
Thank you very much, Prabhuji.
Thank you, Master.
Thank you very much,
all
Prabhuji.
have a wonderful day.
Hare Krishna.
Jai Shri
Krishna. Jai Shri